Shalom, shalom. All praises to the Most High, Yahweh, Bashem, Hamashiach, Yahweh Shai. And I'm going to do this lesson titled Controversy of Zion. And I'm going to start with the book of Proverbs, chapter 30, verse 4 through 5. And it reads, Who hath ascended up into heaven? Or who descended? Who hath gathered the wind in his fist? Who hath bound the waters in a garment? Who hath established all the ends of the earth? What is his name? And what is his son's name, if thou canst tell? So here is Solomon. He's speaking about the Most High Yahweh and Hamashiach Yahweh Shai, the Son. Verse 5. Every word of Yahweh is pure. He is a shield unto them that put their trust in him. And from there I'm going to go to the book of Psalms. Book of Psalms, chapter 91. And just remember, he's a shield to those that put their trust in him. And I'm going to read Psalms chapter 91, verse 4 through 7. And it reads, He shall cover thee with his feathers, and under his wing shalt thou trust. His truth shall be thy shield and buckler. So stand in this word. Stand, keeping your lamps full with the oil and with this living water. That'll keep that hedge of protection over you. He'll be your shield and buckler. Verse 5. Thou shalt not be afraid for the terror by night, nor for the arrows that fly by day. Verse 6. Nor for the pestilence that walketh in darkness, nor for the destruction that wasteth at noonday. Verse 7. 1,000 shall fall at thy right, 1,000 shall fall at thy side, and 10,000 at thy right hand, but it shall not come near thee. See, this is when you made the Most High your habitation, and the Most High God your refuge. Because I'll just go up and read that first verse of Psalms 91, just to give more clarity on this. He that dwelleth in the secret place of the Most High shall abide under the shadow of the Almighty. Verse 2. I will say of the Lord, He is my refuge and my fortress. My God Yahweh, in Him will I trust. So this is who we have to put our trust in. We have to trust in the one that created the heavens and the earth. And from there I'm going to go back to the book of Proverbs. I'm going to go to Proverbs chapter 3. And I'm going to read verse 5 through 7. And it reads, Trust in the Lord with all thine heart. So we have to trust in Him with all our heart, all our soul, and all our mind. Because the heart is the mind. Verse 5 again. Trust in the Lord with all thine heart, and lean not unto thine own understanding. Verse 6. In all thy ways acknowledge Him, and He shall direct thy paths. So we have to acknowledge Him in all things, in all our ways. Verse 7, Be not wise in thine own eyes, fear the Lord, and depart from evil. So that's the thing. We have to always keep Him as our main focus in our life. And from there, I'm going to go back to the book of Psalms, chapter 119. Psalms, chapter 119. And I'm going to read verse 105 of Psalms 119. And it reads, Thy word is a lamp unto my feet, and a light unto my path. So remember, Yahweh Shai, He said, He is the light of the world. Anyone that follows Him shall not walk in darkness, but have the light of life. So let's read that verse 105 again. It says, Thy word is a lamp unto my feet, and a light unto my path. So He's going to lead you and guide you into all truth. He's going to guide you in the right way. And from there, I'm going to go to Psalms chapter 16 and verse 11. Psalms chapter 16, verse 11. And it reads, Thou wilt show me the path of life. In thy presence is fullness of joy. At thy right hand there are pleasures forevermore. So He's going to show us the path of life. Remember, He said in Proverbs 3, Lean not on your own understanding, but in all thy ways acknowledge him, and he'll direct your path. So here in Psalms chapter 16, verse 11 says, Thou wilt show me the path of life. In thy presence is fullness of joy. At thy right hand there are pleasures forevermore. Because remember, he said in John 14, I am the way, the truth, and the life. So he says the same things all through the scriptures. He's repeating himself. And from there, I'm going to stay in the book of Psalms. And I'm going to jump over to chapter 144 of Psalms. And I'm going to read verse 11 through 15 in Psalms. And that reads, Rid me and deliver me from the hand of strange children, whose mouth speaketh vanity, and their right hand is a right hand of falsehood. So now here was David. He was pleading with the Most High, saying to rid him and deliver him out of the hands of strange children, whose mouth speaketh vanity, and their right hand is a right hand of falsehood, because all they do is tell lies. Like Yahushua said, that there is no truth in them. Says the wicked, they're estranged from the womb. They go astray as soon as they be born, speaking lies. Verse 12, that our sons may be as plants grown up in their youth, that our daughters may be as cornerstones, polished after the similitude of a palace. Because he's saying now he's going to beautify his children. He wants us polished. He wants us like pure and fine gold. Verse 13, that our garners may be full, affording all manner of store, that our sheep may bring forth thousands and 10,000s in our streets. In other words, he wants to give us the abundance of all things and supply all of our needs according to his riches and glory. Verse 14, that our oxen may be strong to labor, that there be no breaking in nor going out, that there be no complaining in our streets, so that everybody is in peace, and they're wanting nothing, because he's supplying everything that we need. Verse 15, happy is that people that is in such a case, yea, happy is that people whose God is the Lord. So that's the good news, whose God is the Lord. And from there, I'm going to go to the book of Isaiah chapter 48. Book of Isaiah chapter 48. And I'm going to read verse 9 through 13 in Isaiah 48. Isaiah 48, verse 9 through 13. Salakia. Verse 9 through 13. And it reads, For my name's sake will I defer mine anger, and for my praise will I refrain for thee, that I cut thee not off. So he's saying through the prophet Isaiah, he's not going to stay angry with us. He's not going to cut us all off either. He's just been angry with us for some seasons. Verse 10, Behold, I have refined thee, but not with silver. I have chosen thee in the furnace of affliction. So he's allowing us to go through things because he's trying to conform us into his image. Verse 11, For mine own sake, even for mine own sake will I do it. For how should my name be polluted, and I will not give my glory unto another? Because he's going to make sure he keeps his promises with that covenant he made with his people, with Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. So he's not going to disannul what he said from the foundation of the world. Verse 12, it reads, Hearken unto me, O Jacob, and Israel, my called. I am he, I am the first, I also am the last. So he's talking about his own attributes. How he started this place, he's going to end this place. 13, Mine hand also hath laid the foundations of the earth, and my right hand hath spanned the heavens. When I call unto them, they stand up together. Now he's flexing again. He's showing his attributes, how he created everything. But a lot of people, they've gotten mixed up and puffed up with pride, thinking they've done something, when it's all about him. It's all about Hamashiach Yahushua and his father, Yahweh. And from there, I'm going to go to the book of stay in the book of Isaiah, chapter 1, verse 24 through 28. Isaiah chapter 1. And it reads, Isaiah 1 verse 24 to 28. And it reads, Therefore saith the Lord of hosts, the mighty one of Israel, I will ease me of mine adversaries and avenge me of mine enemies. So now he's saying how he's going to take vengeance on all his adversaries. And verse 25, and I will turn my hand upon thee and purely purge away thy dross and take away all thy tin. So now he's talking, first he was talking about all the enemies of God. Now he's talking about his people, Yasharallah. He's going to take away all the tin, all the sin, all the iniquity, all the tin and the dross. And verse 26, and I will restore thy judges as at the first, and thy counselors as at the beginning. Afterwards thou shalt be called the city of righteousness, the faithful city. Because right now we're not in our proper place. We're subjected to all these other nations. And that's why he's saying he's going to restore us as from the first, how we were from the beginning. Verse 27, Zion shall be redeemed with judgment, and her converts with righteousness. So Zion is going to be, he's going to redeem those, and then all those adversaries, he's going to take care of them. He's going to take care of all those that hate him. And from there, I'm going to go to the book of Malachi. Book of Malachi, chapter 3. It's my big study Bible. Malachi 3, verse 6, and it reads, For I am the Lord, I change not. Therefore ye sons of Jacob are not consumed. So he never changed. Our people, they turned their backs, but he didn't. He gave us law, statutes, and commandments from the beginning, and then our people, they agreed to do it, and they turned their backs. So he says, let me read that again, verse 6. For I am the Lord, I change not. Therefore ye sons of Jacob are not consumed. And from there, I'm going to go to the book of Amos. The book of Amos. I passed it. Passing Amos. Slovakia. Amos, chapter 5. And I'm going to read verse 10 through 15. And it reads, They hate him that rebuketh in the gate, and they abhor him that speaketh uprightly. So Amos is saying how they hate those that rebuketh in the gate, because all abhor means is hate too. And they abhor him that speaketh uprightly. See, they don't like us to bring out this truth. People want to receive lies and deceits. And then verse 11, For as much as therefore as your treading is upon the poor, and you take from him burdens of wheat, ye have built houses of hewn stone, but you shall not dwell in them. You have planted pleasant vineyards, but you shall not drink wine of them. Now he's addressing our people, saying, now, if you don't build it on the solid foundation, which is a Mashiach Yahushua, it's not going to last. This is why he was addressing it, how it's going to come down. And verse 12, For I know your manifold transgressions and your mighty sins. They afflict the just. They take a bribe, and they turn aside the poor in the gate from their right. So he was addressing our people right here, saying that he wasn't happy with how they were conducting themselves. Verse 13, Therefore the prudent shall keep silence in that time, for it is an evil time. Verse 14, Seek good and not evil, that you may live. Now let's listen to that. He said to seek good and not evil, that you may live. And so the Lord, the God Yahweh of hosts, shall be with you as you have spoken. So he says he'll be with you if you seek good and not evil. Verse 15, Hate the evil and love the good, and establish judgment in the gate. It may be that the Lord Yahweh of hosts will be gracious unto the remnant of Joseph. Because he's going to save a remnant. out of all the, when that destruction comes, when Yahushua cracks that sky, 2/3 of our people is going to get it. And everybody knows that prophecy in Zechariah. But he's going to save that 1/3, a remnant. So that's what he's talking about in Amos. And from there, I'm going to go to the book of Revelation, chapter 4. Revelation, chapter 4. And I'm going to read verse 1 and 2. And it reads, "After this, I looked, and behold, a door was opened in the heaven." Salakia. "A door was opened in heaven, and the first voice which I heard was as it were of a trumpet, talking with me, which said, Come up hither, and I will show thee things which must be hereafter." So this was the Most High speaking to Yachanan, the Revelator, giving him a vision of something that's coming, that's going to come, a future prophecy. Verse 2, "And immediately I was in the Spirit, and behold, a throne was set in heaven, and one sat on the throne." That's talking about Hamashiach Yahushai, because he's seated on the right hand of Yahweh. And from there, I'm going to go to the book of Isaiah again, Isaiah chapter 26. Isaiah 26 and verse 20 and 21. Isaiah 26, verse 20 and 21. And that reads, "Come, my people, enter thou into thy chambers, and shut thy doors about thee. Hide thyself, as it were, for a little moment, until the indignation be overpassed." So now he's saying, come on. That's when he's going to rapture the 1/3 into those chariots. That's what he's saying. Come up hither, so that you don't be part of that destruction there. And then verse 21, "For behold, the Lord cometh out of his place to punish the inhabitants of the earth for their iniquity. The earth also shall disclose her blood, and shall no more cover her slain." And that's why you're seeing everything being revealed on the news, and everything is coming out about all this stuff these people have done in the past, talking about the ones, all these heathens that hate Yahweh. So everything is being disclosed now. Like Yahushua said, there'll be no stones left unturned. There's nothing hidden that shall not be uncovered, he said also. So it's all coming out. And from there, I'm going to go back to the book of Revelations, chapter 11. Revelations, chapter 11, verse 12. And that reads, "And they heard a great voice from heaven saying unto them, Come up hither." Same thing that he was saying in Isaiah. "And they ascended up to heaven in a cloud, and their enemies beheld them." That's the cloud we know is the chariots. So that's him rapturing the ones that are obedient up out of that destruction before it actually happens. And from there, we'll go to the book of Acts chapter 1 to get another witness of this. Acts chapter 1, verse 8 through 11. And it reads, I'll just go up to 7. Actually, I'm going to just jump up to 6. "When they therefore were come together, they asked of him." This was the disciples asking Yahushua. They were asking, saying, "Lord, will thou at this time restore again the kingdom to Israel?" Verse 7. "And he said unto them, It is not for you to know the times or the seasons which the Father hath put in his own power." So that power is coming from Yahweh himself. Yahushua can't move until Yahweh gives him that order. Then he's getting up. Verse 8, "But you shall receive power after that the Holy Ghost has come upon you, and you shall be witnesses unto me both in Jerusalem and in all Judea and in Samaria and unto the uttermost parts of the earth." And let me read down. "And when he had spoken these things, while they beheld, he was taken up, and a cloud received him out of their sight." So this is when Yahushua ascended up to the heavens. And verse 10, "And while they looked steadfastly toward heaven, as he went up, behold, 2 men stood by them in white apparel," which everyone knows that was Elijah and Moses. And verse 11 reads, which also said, ye men of Galilee, why stand ye gazing up into heaven? This same Hamashiach Yahushai, which is taken up from you into heaven, shall so come in like manner as you have seen him go into heaven. So he's coming back the way he ascended. He's coming back in the clouds and in the chariots, like it says in Isaiah 66. This is how he's coming back. And from there, I'm going to go to the book of Psalms 104 just to show what the clouds are. Get another witness of the clouds. Psalms chapter 104, and I'm going to read verse 3, and it reads, who layeth the beams of his chambers in the waters, who maketh the clouds his chariot, who walketh upon the wings of the wind. So he's saying the clouds are the chariots. So that's just another witness. And then from there, I'm going to go to the book of Isaiah 63, verse 1 through 6. Isaiah 63, we're going to go 1 through 6. And it reads, who is this that cometh from Edom with dyed garments from Basra? So now he's talking about a nation that he hates. Because remember he said, Jacob have I loved, but Esau have I hated. So this is talking about Edom, the whole nation of Edom. Who is this that cometh from Edom with dyed garments from Basra? Because that's the dyed garments is because it's going to be a lot of bloodshed. This that is glorious in his apparel, traveling in the greatness of his strength. I that speak in righteousness, mighty to save. So that's the Mashiach Yahushai. 2, verse 2, wherefore art thou red in thine apparel, and thy garments like him that treadeth in the wine fat? Now he's saying how there's going to be a lot of bloodshed. Verse 3, I have trodden the winepress alone, and of the people there was none with me. For I will tread them in mine anger, and trample them in my fury, and their blood shall be sprinkled upon my garments, and I will stain all my raiment. So it's a controversy going on, because our people are not in their rightful state. He's going to make sure he puts us in our right state after all of this. Verse 4, for the day of vengeance is in my heart, and the year of redeemed is come. Verse 5, and I looked, and there was none to help, and I wondered that there was none to uphold. Therefore mine own arm brought salvation unto me, and my fury it upheld me. So with that mighty hand and the stretched out arm, that's how he's going to deliver us out of this captivity. This final one, this number 7. Verse 6, and I will tread down the people in mine anger, and make them drunk in my fury, and I will bring down their strength to the earth. So he's saying how he's going to take care of all of them. All the ones that put their hands on his people. And from there I'm going to Isaiah 47. I'm going to start at verse 1 and read to 15. And it says, come down and sit in the dust, O virgin daughter of Babylon. Sit on the ground. There is no throne, O daughter of the Chaldeans. For thou shalt no more be called tender and delicate. So now he's saying they're not going to be on top no more. He's taking them to the ground. Take the millstone and grind meal. Uncover thy locks. Make bare the leg. Uncover thy thigh. Pass over the rivers. So now everybody is seeing who they are. Everybody sees who all these heathens are. The Bible is explaining everybody. Verse 3, thy nakedness shall be uncovered. Yeah, thy shame shall be seen. I will take vengeance, and I will not meet thee as a man. Because he's not coming to get beat, whipped, or crucified unto his return. He's coming to judge. Because in righteousness we're going to be established. Verse 4, as for our Redeemer, the Lord of hosts is his name, the Holy One of Israel. Sit thou silent and get thee into darkness, O daughter of the Chaldeans, for thou shalt no more be called the Lady of Kingdoms. Like they're not going to be living deliciously no more. They're not going to be doing all this stuff they've been doing to our people either. That's what he's saying here. I was wroth with my people. I have polluted my inheritance and given them into thine hand. Thou didst didst show them no mercy. Upon the ancients hast thou very heavily laid thy yoke. He said, you didn't show my people no mercy, and you laid the yoke heavy. You were doing them really bad. That's what he's saying in that verse. And then it says, and thou sayest, I shall be a lady forever, so that thou did not lay these things to thy heart, neither did remember the latter end of it. It says, you should have took it to heart, what I said in all these precepts from the foundation of the world. But since you didn't listen, you're going to get slaughtered. That's what he's basically saying here. Verse 8, therefore hear now this, thou that art graven, Salakia, thou that art given to pleasures, that dwellest carelessly, that sayest in thine heart, I am, and none else beside me. They're always just out there doing all this stuff. Hang gliding, mountain climbing, bungee jumping, just doing pleasures. They're into pleasures, he said. He says, I shall not sit as a widow, neither shall I know the loss of children. This is what they say. They don't think it's ever going to happen to them, but the Lord is mocking right here. And then verse 9 it says, but these two things shall come to thee in a moment, and one day the loss of children and widowhood, they shall come upon thee in their perfection. This is the Lord speaking. He said it's coming up, all this death and mourning is going to be coming up in perfection towards them. For the multitude of thy sorceries, and for the great abundance of thine enchantments. What sorceries? All the stuff they push on TV, all the music, all this stuff they got our people, the kids watching, and our people brainwashed with. Because that's sorceries, getting their minds into all that stuff and keeping their mind off the scriptures. That's what he's talking about. There's sorceries. And then lying on Yahushua, put Cesar Borgia up there as the anointed Savior. He's upset about quite a few things. In verse 10, for thou hast trusted in thy wickedness. Thou hast said, none seeth me. But remember, his eyes is in every place, beholding the evil and the good. So everybody's been seeing what they've done, for what they've done here in the body. For thou hast trusted in thy wickedness. Thou hast said, none seeth me. Thy wisdom and thy knowledge, it hath perverted thee. And thou hast said in thine heart, I am, and none else beside me. Because they think they're the Most High God. That's what they think. But he's like letting them, he's putting them in their place in this one. Verse 11, therefore shall evil come upon thee, thou shalt not know from whence it rises. He is not going to tell them when he sends that tsunami. He's not going to tell them when he sends an earthquake, when he drops a plane out the sky, when he sinks their ships, when he knocks the train over. He's not telling them. He's just going to creep up. He's letting it be known right there. And mischief shall fall upon thee. Thou shalt not be able to put it off. And desolation shall come upon thee suddenly, which thou shalt not know. Like they're not going to know. Stand now with thine enchantments, and with the multitude of thy sorceries, wherein thou hast labored from thy youth. If so be that thou shalt be able to profit. He says, because you've been doing this from your youth. It goes all the way back to Cain, and then when Esau came. When Isaac and Rebekah had Jacob and Esau. So they've been doing this ever since the beginning. Verse 13, thou art wearied in the multitude of thy counsels. Let now the astrologers, the stargazers, the monthly prognosticators stand up and save thee. Save thee from these things that shall come upon thee. Now he's asking, see if any of those, the things that you put your trust in can save you. Verse 14, behold, they shall be as stubble. The fire shall burn them. That's going to be a fire. Those ICBM missiles hit. And the chariots when they come and do damage. The fire shall burn them. They shall not deliver themselves from the power of the flame. So the Lord he's flexing here. There shall not be a coal to warm at, nor fire to sit before it. He's going to destroy everything in his path. Verse 15, thus shall they be unto thee, with whom thou hast labored, even thy merchants from thy youth. They shall wander, every one to his own, Salakia, wander, every one to his quarter, none shall save thee. So you're not going to be able to be delivered out of his hand. Nobody's going to be able to escape this judgment. And from there, I'm going to go to the book of Revelations, chapter 18, verse 1 through 4. Revelations, this is the controversy of Zion. That's what this is titled. Revelations 18, verse 1 through 4. And it reads, "And after these things I saw another angel come down from heaven, having great power, and the earth was lightened with his glory." Verse 2, "And he cried mightily with a strong voice, saying, Babylon the great is fallen, and has become the habitation of devils, and the hold of every foul spirit, and a cage of every unclean and hateful bird." As this place is just full of abominations and wicked people, hateful birds. Verse 3, "For all nations have drunk of the wine of the wrath of her fornication, and the kings of the earth have committed fornication with her. And the merchants of the earth are waxed rich through the abundance of her delicacies." Because all these other nations jumped on the bandwagon with Esau and started coming up to oppress Jake and got all these resources. It was all stolen. Verse 4, "And I heard another voice from heaven saying, Come out of her, my people, that you be not partakers of her sins, and that you receive not of her plagues." So he's telling us to not pack up and leave, but to come out of all their pagan days. Keep the Sabbath day. Don't eat crab, shrimp, lobster. Do the things he said in the scriptures. Come out of their ideology. Just get away from all their doctrine. And from there, I'm going to go to the book of Zechariah, chapter 14. Book of Zechariah. Zechariah chapter 14. I just passed it. It's Malachi. Zechariah chapter 14. And I'm going to read verse 12. And it reads, remember he said, come out of her so you don't receive none of her plagues. Verse 12. "And this shall be the plague wherewith the Lord will smite all the people that have fought against Jerusalem. Their flesh shall consume away while they stand upon their feet. And their eyes shall consume away in their holes, and their tongue shall consume away in their mouth." So that's going to be the plague. That's the plague he's saying. And from there, I'm going to go to the book of Revelations, back to 18. The book of Revelations, chapter 18 again. I'm going to read verse 5 through 10. Revelations 18, verse 5 through 10, and it reads, "For her sins have reached unto heaven, and Yahweh hath remembered her iniquities." He hasn't forgotten everything that they've done. That's why in Deuteronomy it says, "Remember the days of old. Consider the years of many generations." He's not going to forget anything. He's going